Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ and in this video we are breaking down the new DC Studios Slate. James Gunn and Peter Safran are rebooting the DC universe. Well, maybe. Who knows what's going to stay, who knows what's going to go. But we are going to look at the upcoming slate and some of the biggest announcements that DC is planning for the next 10 years or so. It's wild. We definitely need a new era of DC. I'm a Zack Snyder fan, but I'm ready to move on from all that. Let Snyder have his fun at Netflix, and we start a brand new era with some younger actors, some crazy stuff going on. But enough of this intro. Let's get into the slate and all of the crazy DC goodness coming up. First up on our list, we have Superman Legacy, July 2025. They say this will mark the start of the DCU, but it will not be an origin story when you think of the Man of Steel. Think of Henry Cavill's Man of Steel film, the first Christopher Reeve movie. We're not really going the origin story route. This will focus on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing. He is the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way. We will also see Gunn writing the project, and Safran says he hopes Gunn can direct it as well, though Gunn seems pretty poker faced, they say. Who knows? Gunn directing a Superman film may not be the best match, but he could possibly add something to the writer's room there. I'm very curious about this. Superman is for everyone, that's what Gunn says, so they want this to be a 4-quadrant movie, which means this can work for every age, every demographic, every breakdown. They want Superman to work for them. That is a promising start. No news on any actors here, but it seems like we will be starting fresh with another kind of vibe there. Next up, we have The Authority. Superman Legacy will directly lead into this. This is an ensemble movie with superhumans who have less than idyllic approach to saving the world. So Suicide Squad? Maybe? Okay. So they say The Authority is going to have characters from Wildstorm, which is an independent thing under DC. Okay. This is the weirdest one so far for me, and we're just already in, but I see Batman. We'll get there in 1 second. The film is being written now, but we don't know who the writer is for The Authority. This could be interesting. Maybe we can get characters like the Question in here. Really fun DC weird characters. That could be interesting. Now we have Brave and the Bold, along with the DC's version of Batman, who will exist separately from Robert Pattinson's Batman movies. Good to see that this will have Robert Pattinson's movies in its own world, but we'll be focusing on the Brave and the Bold, which will introduce the Bat family. First among them is Robin, who we have not seen since Batman and Robin. That's going to be pretty crazy, and it's Damian Wayne, who is my least favorite Robin, the obnoxious little child. Damian is Bruce's biological son, if you do not know. The fact is unknown to Wayne for so many years. Talia brings him and says, "This is your child." Oh boy, this could be really fun. I definitely think a Robin story is necessary in the DC universe. We have not had one in quite some time. We've never had a definitive Robin on film. I love my Chris O'Donnell. I love my Batman and Robin. I'm a fan of that cheesy-ass movie. But, we need a proper Robin. This could definitely be good. That one actually is jumped up to my list. Superman, never been my favorite, but I can see that The Brave and the Bold being really good. Oh, Supergirl, look at that. Supergirl's getting her movie. This is going to be much more hardcore, I read here. The Woman of Tomorrow features Superman's cousin, Kara, who is a different type of Supergirl. We will see the difference between Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by parents, versus Supergirl, who was raised on a rock chip of Krypton and watched everyone around her die. She's going to be the more aggressive one. Maybe what we kind of expected, the more troubled, layered Superman that Henry Cavill and Zack Snyder were building. Maybe we will get that with Supergirl in this entry. That could definitely be very, very good. Woman of Tomorrow is a thing from Tom King that I don't know too much about, but I'm curious to see what they can do. Whoa, 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 movie time for Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing will investigate the dark origins of Swamp Thing through the prism of horror. Wow, an actual horror DC movie. I loved my Batman. I loved what they tried to do at Marvel with their horror stuff, but Swamp Thing could definitely be They said they want to one-up themselves of what they did with characters like Rocket Raccoon and things like that. This is a more of a horrific film, but we will still see Swamp Thing interact with other characters. That is really interesting to see Swamp Thing exist in the horror section of DC, but also be able to mix with someone like Superman. He is a Justice League member. Let him put him in the Justice League. If you guys have ever played the Injustice games, I love Swamp Thing in there. So I could definitely see what they're going to do. So that is what they have right now for the movies. We have Brave and the Bold, Supergirl, we got Swamp Thing, The Authority. Those are some promising starts. And as we've learned, the TV and the movies will all mix together. So let's get into the TV section right now. On our TV section, we have Creature Commandos, which is an animated series. The first project, they say, which was greenlit under the Saffron Gunn, who Gunn will be writing every episode. Creature Commandos seems so James Gunn. This is a team launched in 1980. We got Frankenstein's monster with a werewolf, a Gorgon, a vampire. It seems like James Gunn wants to lean into the horror that DC's always been known for. Do it. Make DC scary again. Like, this could be really, really fun. They will also allow creative collaborators to tell stories in their gigantic, but without spending $50 million for an episode. This is really good. The actors to cast for the characters will be also playing them in live action films later on. So people we meet in Creature Commando will be featured later on. So they're going to do good voice actors here so they can put them onto the big screen. I really like that. Now we have Waller, which will be hard because this will be a continuation of Peacemaker, which is a continuation of the Suicide Squad, which is a continuation of Suicide Squad. With Viola Davis coming back, great to see her. Icon legend Viola Davis. I love her Amanda Waller. This is hard because we get Amanda Waller, but are we going to keep Harley? But are we going to keep other people? John Cena's coming back? What are we doing here? Fine. They say both Creature Commandos and Wallers are expected to debut before Superman Legacy. I think Superman Legacy should be the one to launch it all, but we shall see. Next up, Lanterns. We have a huge HBO quality event, they describe it as, in the vein of True Detective. Lanterns. This will be two members of the Green Lantern Corps. We will have Hal Jordan and John Stewart, the best Green Lanterns. Cool. I don't need, like, Guy Gardner. I don't need all that. I don't know. Give me Hal and give me John. Mostly just John. He's the only one I really care about. They say this is a very important show. Greg's vision was more of a space soap opera. Ours is more of a terrestrial-based investigation story. So as we all know, Greg Berlanti was working on a Green Lantern series that's not coming out anymore. We're now doing this Green Lantern series. Sure, space soap opera wasn't my thing. I've seen enough space soap operas. I need the investigative drama that is, I don't know, the Green Lanterns. Could be fine. All right, now, oh God, there's so much, Booster Gold. We'll get to Booster Gold in a second. I don't need him. Of course, James Gunn's doing that. Paradise Lost. It's a Game of Thrones-ish story set on the island of Themyscira before the birth of Diana, which is good because it doesn't really mess with the Gal Gadot stuff, so maybe if we want to bring her back one day, who knows? There is a political intrigue by the Society of All Women. How did that come about? What's the origin of the island? I think this could be really good. I know that there is the Paradise Lost comic books, so they could be basing a little bit off of that as well. This is a really strong idea. It's giving me Themyscira, it's giving me the Amazonians, but not specifically Wonder Woman, which could lead to Wonder Woman in the future, but yeah, that was a really strong one. And then Booster Gold. Okay, he's a comedy character. He's Booster Gold, you know, he's a fan favorite among some people, but not me. He's a disgraced football character in the 25th century who uses a time machine on display in the Metropolis Space Museum. Basically, Booster Gold is the imposter syndrome of superheroes. Anyways, here are some of the major news and the major talking points from the DC announcements. So as we all know, there is some major controversy with Ezra Miller and The Flash. Ezra Miller has had a rough couple years. They've been through it, doing some pretty horrible things. But could they help themselves later on through mental health, blah, 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 getting sober? Who all knows that? But they do say that The Flash is one of the greatest superhero movies ever. And Ezra Miller's DC future will be decided after their recovery. Sure, fine, whatever. I don't know. I like Ezra Miller. I've been a big fan since We Need to Talk About Kevin, Perks of Being a Wallflower, that whole era. I would love to see Ezra get out of the horrible situation that they've put themselves in. but who knows? I don't know. I don't know. We also have things like James Gunn comments on Zachary Levi maybe being anti-vax and saying, I can't fire somebody because I don't agree with them. Fine. They also say that the shelved Batgirl movie with Brendan Fraser would have hurt DC. Don't know what that means. Okay. And Batman Part 2 is set for a 2025 release as part of the Elseworlds projects. So, as DC is going to have the DCEU, which is the proper DC Studios timeline, think of the MCU, we will be having Elseworld stories, which I'm going to imagine Joker's going to fit into there, the upcoming one with Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. We're also going to have the DC Elseworlds tag with Batman. We're also going to have a Teen Titans Go ongoing series, which will be considered part of the Elseworlds, and also the J.J. Abrams separate Superman movie coming out. So it seems like they want to be able to tell multiple stories within the DC world, but like have their cake and eat it too. Tell the multiple stories, do all of that, but also offer something new, something fresh, something Elseworlds like. I like that. I think that's a really strong decision, and I like these news. Figuring out Ezra Miller's future, what the hell to do with Zachary Levi. Why did Batgirl get canceled? But really, what's going to happen here is the Elseworld stuff. That's the most intriguing part outside of the main announcements. I really like the fact that we're keeping Matt Reeves' movies, that we're keeping the Joker stuff. I like the Elseworld stories because when we get bored of them proper DC stories, we can go Elseworld, more fun. Who knows? But then also we could do like a Crisis on Infinite Earths eventually in a movie. The possibility of opening up Elseworlds, keeping those other universes, really makes the future of DC that much more fun. Whoa, we have Batman movies, Superman movies, Green Lantern TV shows, a Wonder Woman prequel, Ezra Miller's still around possibly, Batgirl was so bad, it was just that bad. Wow, what a crazy day of DC announcements, and I know this is not it. There is going to be more coming out throughout 2023 as we head to that 2025 launch date. What did you think of these announcements? What's your favorite part of all of this craziness? Are you excited? Was this as hyped as you thought it was all going to be? Or are you just upset that we're moving on from the world that we were already building? Share all your feelings down in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy, and make sure you subscribe to Flickering Myth. All right, everyone, let's talk about DCU down below.